Hello and welcome back to the channel, and welcome in the refreshed 2024 Mazda 2 Hybrid. Now if you're familiar with the Mazda 2 Hybrid, you know this is really not a Mazda. It is actually a Toyota Yaris hybrid in disguise. However, when the car first came out, the Mazda 2 Hybrid, around 2 years ago, the car just looked like a Yaris. But now Mazda has given the car a refresh, and now the car actually looks like a Mazda. Now in this video I'm going to show you what is new on this refreshed version. I'm going to show you the exterior and the interior, and I'm going to tell you how the car drives. Now before we start talking about the car, maybe we should address the elephant in the room and address the fact why Mazda is selling a Toyota Yaris here in Europe as a Mazda 2 Hybrid. Because Mazda already has a Mazda 2, but that car doesn't have hybrid technology. In fact, not a lot of cars from Mazda offer hybrid technology, except the CX-60, which is a plug-in hybrid, and all the other cars do have mild hybrid technology, but they're not proper hybrids. And if you want to sell cars here in Europe as a car maker, you better make sure that you keep the CO2 emissions low, and therefore you need hybrid technology. And that's why Mazda kindly asked Toyota if they could sell the Yaris here in Europe as the Mazda 2. And I'm sure Toyota is more than happy to offer the cars to Mazda, because I'm sure they're making a lot of money out of it. And that's why the Mazda 2 Hybrid exists here in Europe. And like I said, when the car first came to the market here in Europe, the Mazda 2 Hybrid basically was identical to a Toyota Yaris Hybrid. The car looked completely identical, but that just changed. This renewed model has a more unique look to it. It has a new front bumper that has the typical Mazda hexagonal design, so you get the hexagonal grille. The headlights on this car are still very much Yaris headlights, and I have to say they're very good, especially considering this car is a B-segment compact city car. I'm driving a higher spec car here. The car has basically all the options that you can get on this renewed version. And so the car also has the Matrix LED lights. And I have to say, in the dark, they're pretty incredible. Then let's have a look at the back end of the car. Like I said, the outgoing model had the same back end design as the Toyota Yaris. Now the back end is completely changed. This car doesn't have the continuous light strip like the Yaris or the previous Mazda 2 Hybrid. It has its own unique tail lights. They have a more Mazda kind of shape to the tail lights, and they have this small blinker in the center of the tail lights. Trunk size is still identical. You get around 260-270 liters of boot capacity, which isn't that amazing, to be honest. You can get cars in this segment that offer a little bit more boot space, for example the Renault Clio. However, it is still plenty if you're using this car as a day-to-day grocery getter or getting the kids to school. Now the backseat area also isn't that spacious. I can barely fit there. It is pretty cramped. I am 1.80 meter and I can barely fit there if I'm sitting behind myself. But again, if you're only using this car to get the kids to school, it offers plenty of space. Now you got split folding seats in a 60/40 configuration. And there isn't a center armrest, and you also don't get USB ports in the back, which is a bit of a shame, because again, I'm driving the top spec car here, and you might want to have some USB ports in the back if you're bringing your kids to school every day, or if you're doing longer trips, you want to make sure your kids got plenty of use for their tablets or phones. Now luckily you do get USB-C ports up front here. You get two modern USB-C ports, and you can also get a wireless charger here as well. Now this top of the line spec version also has heated seats here up front, and you can get this massive panel roof here, which I really like, because it really makes the car look a lot roomier inside, because there's a lot more light coming into the cabin. Again, not standard. You also get a new screen here up front, a 10-inch screen. It's a pretty big screen, and the compute power is really good. It's a really fast operating system. I really like the system. It seems to work a lot faster than some infotainment systems in some more expensive cars, so I'm a big fan of this new infotainment system. You also get a new digital gauge cluster in front of you. It's around 10 inch, so also pretty big, and you can also get a head-up display in front of you. Now again, the dashboard is identical to a Toyota Yaris, and they didn't really change anything, just like they did to the exterior design. You do obviously get a Mazda badge on the steering wheel. On the steering wheel you also get a lot of physical buttons. You get a lot of buttons for the radio, but also a lot of buttons for the self-help drive systems. This car can drive autonomous level 2, so it has a lane assist and adaptive cruise control. And I have to say, it works quite well on this car. Again, a lot better than on some more expensive cars. But again, it is Toyota technology. You can also get these new seats that I have here with this pretty, funky looking pattern. It's like a diamond pattern that you have here. And I have to say, they're pretty comfortable, but they're also, pretty sporty, meaning that they really keep you in your place. You can also get a new color on the car. The car I'm driving right now has the color glass blue, which I believe is a Toyota color, which makes sense. It looks pretty funky again. It's like a blue-purple kind of tint. You can also get new wheels, for example, these black wheels that I have on this car. And the combination of the black wheels and this purple bluish glass blue color really makes this car pop. It really makes the car stand out. Then let's talk about the drivetrain. Now obviously the drivetrain is identical to that of a Toyota Yaris hybrid, and it is still the same powertrain that you had in the outgoing Mazda 2 hybrid. Meaning you get a 1.5 3-cylinder engine producing 92 horsepower, and you also get an electric motor also producing 90 horsepower, and together the total system output is 116 horsepower, which is a pretty good amount of horsepower for a pretty small car. The car will do 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 9.7 seconds, and the top speed is 175 kilometers an hour. And I have to say, just like the Toyota Yaris, this is a pretty fun car to drive. You get this big wide stance in the back, just like a Yaris, and you can actually have some fun with this car if you want to. But to be honest, this car is not really made to be fun. This car is made to be efficient, and efficient this car really is. The car does have the CVT transmission, the automatic transmission, just like in a lot of Toyotas. You really have to get used to it, because the car does make a little bit noise than regular petrol cars. And that is because of the CVT transmission that enables the petrol engine to operate in the optimal rev range. But that does mean that sometimes it feels like the car is making too much revs and it can't really shift up. And it can be a little bit annoying, but I guess you have to get used to it, and I guess you have to accept it, because it does mean the car is really efficient. The car also has regen braking, just like a fully electric car, and that is because of the electric motor that you also have under the bonnet. Because the electric motor can, regen brake, and that means it generates electricity while braking. Then you have to put the car in the B mode, and then when you let go of the accelerator pedal, the car will automatically slow down and generate electricity. And then you can use the electricity to drive a couple of miles now and then fully electric, again saving some more petrol. And so that's it for this video. That's all you need to know in a nutshell about this renewed Mazda 2 hybrid. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos like this in the future, hit that subscribe button, and then I'll see you in the next one.